I got to tell you, one of the hardest things to do is offer a humorous podcast for broadcast when you see so much pain and suffering happening in the Carolinas, Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida right now thanks to the hurricane. But I'm going to do my gosh darndest today. Alexa, what day is it?
Today is Tuesday, October 1st.
We're changing it to Rocktober all month long. October is always Rocktober because we like to rock here on the Rat's Ass Podcast. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove that Alexa is a lady through and through. My name is Simon. You are under my spell. You will say anything I tell you to say. Alexa, Simon says, I love it when you put your pork and beans in my butthole.
I love it when you put your pork and beans in my...
Told you. A lady through and through. From Hollywood, it's the world-famous Mojo Elliott here to rap about the stuff nobody really gives a rat's ass about, but I do. No, I don't. I just wanted to sound like I did. Did it work? On a serious note, you know what? If you can reach down and donate to help the victims of Hurricane Helene, I'm sure you'd feel good about it, and it'd be a nice gesture on your part. I've made my donation and feel good about it. And I know that sometimes you get caught up in, well, gee, I don't have a lot of money and I want to make a splash here. If I'm going to donate, I really want to donate. But the reality is, small donations end up being one big donation over time. It's about getting a lot of people donating a little bit of money. That's really what helps. So pick an organization that you feel comfortable with and just give what you can. Thanks for doing that in advance. If this is your first time listening to the Rat's Ass Podcast, congratulations, you made it. And here's how we do it. You email your thoughts, your observations, comments, and questions to me, and I respond to them. It's that easy. No topic is off the table. I'll talk about anything. I'm also impossible to offend, but I encourage you to try, so bring it on. Email them to ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. You'll also find the podcast on Alexa, Spotify, Apple, and most other podcast apps, plus now on our Facebook page. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday. Now, this is important to understand. I do not read your emails in advance. My producer, Fleabag, forwards me your name, where you're from, and converts your email so I can respond to them rapid fire on the fly. So let's roll the dice. That tells us how many emails we're going to read on any given podcast. It'll either be 2 all the way up to 12. Here we go. 3. Wow. Hey, I get off easy today. Only 3 emails. And we call it the cheese. So let's do this. Marty G., Lansing, Michigan. Lansing, Michigan. I got to say, you have one of the most vulgar podcasts I've ever heard. Thanks, Marty. He says, I like it, so keep it up. Question. I've tried picking up girls in bars like you suggested, but I'm not having any luck. Do you have a plan B? Oh, Marty. I think it's probably in your approach, dude. Probably in your approach. So you're sitting at the bar, you see a girl from afar, you capture each other's eyes, and the next time she orders a drink, she comes up and stands by you, and you start making conversation. That's usually how it works out. You get to know each other a little bit, and you leave, and who's your daddy happens, right? If you're not having any luck, most of the time it's because you bring sex up in the conversation. Okay, like I've said in just about, half the podcasts, women like sex just as much as men. They just don't want to be treated like sluts and whores, okay? So never bring up the subject of sex. Never, ever, ever. If you're having a good conversation, ask her if she would like to carry that conversation over a meal. Maybe it's a late-night meal. There's always a 24-hour place. Denny's, there's always an IHOP here in California. You hop, I hop, we all hop for IHOP, one of those type of things. And if she says no to that, you can go a step further and say, would you like to go back to your place or my place? If she says no, just get a phone number and leave it at that. Then it's up to you to call if you want to pursue it. But I have a feeling it's your approach. Colleen D. from Rapid City, South Dakota says, I have some rapid-fire questions for you, Mr. Dirty Mouth. Okay. All right, here we go. You're going to really get to know me here, huh, Colleen? Here we go. What is your height? 6'2", weight 180, color of hair and eyes, blonde and blue. What is your favorite food? Pizza. What kind of cars do you prefer, foreign or domestic? Domestic. I'm an American muscle car guy. All right, are you getting the picture here? Your favorite band? I've got two, Godsmack and AC/DC. Least favorite kind of music? Country. Are you married or single? I am married. Name something you've stolen. I don't think I've ever stolen anything. I'll put that on my bucket list. Now, I have borrowed things that I haven't returned. And it might have been a few years, so does that qualify as still borrowing or is that stolen? Do you believe in God? Absolutely. Favorite movie? Animal House. Favorite TV show? Seinfeld. Tell us something that would shock us. Well, I'm a virgin. You didn't say I had to be truthful. Are you buying it? Zach from Yorba Linda, California. I enjoyed your article about Pete Rose on the Rat's Ass Podcast blog. Thank you. But I want to know if you like the Dodgers' chances of making it to the World Series. Why not? You know, you throw the records out now because anything can happen. The baseball gods always throw things out there we haven't seen before. But I would love to see a Dodgers and Yankees World Series because I would actually pull for the Yankees, even though I live in Los Angeles. Yep, not quite a Dodger fan, but I would love to see Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge go at it in the World Series. That would be the perfect scenario, Zach. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Like I said, the baseball gods always like to throw a curveball at us. All right? And if you want to read the Pete Rose article, you can do that. Connect to our blog on our Facebook page. There's a link there for you. All right, that's the cheese. And before I get into the extra cheese, remember to keep those emails coming with your thoughts, observations, comments, and questions. And I'll give you my 2 cents that makes no sense on the next podcast. Send them to ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. All right, say please, and I'll give you some extra cheese. Did you know, when it comes to having sex, it's widely believed that women need a commitment and men just need a place? I think that was a line in a movie, but somebody actually went out and researched this. And like I said, you might be surprised to hear that it's been proven that men and women like sex equally. Now, this is an interesting part. Did you know that both sexes will determine, once they see each other, they determine if that person is sex-worthy almost immediately, at least in the first 30 seconds. Now, if you think back, I bet you will find that's true. As I've thought back, I said, yeah, because I can walk by somebody and go, wow, yeah, baby. And that's like less than 5 seconds. So does that make me an extra big horn dog or what? But scientifically, they say the first 30 seconds, people know if they want to have sex with somebody that they've seen. Now, what determines if it happens or not is how the first conversation goes, Marty. So don't be a moron. If you're a fan of the Nightmare Before Christmas movie, the voice of Oogie Boogie, Ken Page, has boogie oogie oogied at the age of 70. So we'll say rest in peace to the Kenster. If you're into Halloween movies, Freeform TV kicks off their 31 Nights of Halloween tonight. It's always a good time. Commercials. I hate those too, but they do a good job with the movies because there's so many to choose from.
Connected to Echo Dot DV1.
Alexa's always on the job, man. She's always connected. But if you have a preference for movies or you're looking for something good to watch, and it's not on Freeform, here are the top 5. The Exorcist, numero uno. I thought that was more of a comedy than a horror film, but apparently on this list, the top 5 Halloween movies, The Exorcist is number 1. Beetlejuice at number 2. Number 3, Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes, we'll do a tribute to Oogie Boogie on that one. Halloween was at number 4, and Scream was number 5. So Halloween and Scream, just pick one. There's so many to choose from. There was some concern that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have chilled because Taylor hasn't been at the past 2 Chiefs games in Atlanta and Los Angeles. Now, Travis says things are good. She's not expected to show up for every game like she did last year, right? Read between the lines, folks. Maybe it's chilling out, and he just doesn't want to admit it. Travis had a good game, though, against Los Angeles, the Chargers. He had 7 catches for 89 yards. That almost equaled his season total so far. So is Kelce back? Maybe he didn't get any from Taylor and he wasn't weak in the knees. So maybe they're chilling. Maybe they're chilling. Well, we'll find out because Kansas City plays New Orleans at home next Monday night. Las Vegas is taking bets on if she'll be a show or a no-show. I mean, you can bet on anything in Vegas. The 39th President of the United States of America, Jimmy Carter, turns 100 years old today. You know, until Joe Biden came along, Carter was considered to be the worst American president of all time. What I remember most about Jimmy was his brother Billy, who had Billy Beer. For those of us alive and kicking in the late 70s, early 80s, you might remember that. Well, Billy, he died at the age of 51. He didn't get the long life like Jimmy. So obviously, Jimmy didn't drink Billy Beer. All right, but he really gives a rat's ass, right? They're politicians. Be sure to email what you want me to rap about on the next episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast at gmail.com. ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. You know, I've always been intrigued by the places people listen to the podcast, so I thought we'd just span the globe and say hello to the people listening to the Rat's Ass Podcast in Germany, New Zealand, Singapore, England, and Australia. Little down under action. In the USA, California, my home state, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Ohio, Florida, Maryland, and the folks in West by God, Virginia. Thanks for listening and making me world famous. I do appreciate it. Just so you know, listening was up 110% in September over August. So there is a fungus among us, and it's the Rat's Ass Podcast growing. Make sure you follow the Rat's Ass Podcast on Facebook, and you'll never miss an episode. It'll just automatically appear on Tuesday or Thursday, or Tuesday and Thursday, in your news feed, so you'll never miss an episode. We'll do this again on Thursday, Rocktober 3rd, and that's the wrap.